Greetings, my name is Kimberly Stewart-Lucas of Absolutely Divine Events, and I'm the curator of the Reclamation Project for She Who Is. The Reclamation Project is a visual celebration of Black women's beauty, spirituality, sensuality, and sexuality, and of the perceived self-image and worth as women. This project is inspired by classic images from Players Magazine, Players Pictorial, Oh Brother, and Jet Magazine's annual nude calendars from the 1970s. The Reclamation Project is a love letter to Black women, young and old. Reclamation is about Black women releasing feelings of shame, guilt, and embarrassment tied to their bodies and reclaiming or asserting their sexuality, their sensuality, and their womanhood. It's about understanding how each of these elements are intertwined with their spirituality. As women, daughters, wives, sisters, aunts, and mothers, Black women are constantly reclaiming and redefining the very definition of who they are, peeling off all the labels that no longer serve them. The Reclamation Project is about being at peace and loving who you are, where you are, as you are. Welcome to the Reclamation Project for She Who Is. Please enjoy.
Hello, this is Carolyn Miller. I created the image, She Summons. I did so because this image reflects the sexy, sensual, and sophisticated embodiment of the Black woman. She understands just how powerful is her eroticism, how her energy is able to transmute, to bring solace, while simultaneously igniting the soul of the one she touches. She is the muse that with the slight wave of her hand commands one to enter her orbit. Thank you.
This is MARRYAM, MOMA, visual artist with a current focus on hand-cut collage art. The name of my artwork for the Reclamation Project is Soft and Wild. Soft and Wild celebrates a gentle and intimate rediscovery of self. I unlearn toxicity in all its forms and embrace radical self-love. As I reclaim my body, I'm not afraid to let go of limiting beliefs, past hurts, reconciling with self and other, and forgiving myself for past mistakes. As I heal, I am gentle and kind, gracious and accepting of all parts of me as I soften to reclaim my inner peace and wildness. This is all of me.
Hello, my name is Tracee Ginyard, visual artist here in Atlanta, Georgia. For the Reclamation Project for She Who Is, I chose to paint Players Magazine model Marilyn Joy, titled My Pleasure. This particular model facial expression piqued my attention with her eyes closed and the color blue background. I focused on shadows of her face and parts of her body. What stood out to me was that she owned that moment, and it was her space to please and love herself her way. Who doesn't know you better than you? I'm so looking forward to future reclamation projects and for women to continue to reclaim who they are for who she is.
My name is Melissa Thomas, and the title of my artwork is The Truth Behind the Mirror. This piece was inspired by a quote from author Shannon Hartz. And just as the phoenix rose from the ashes, she too will rise, returning from the flames, clothed in nothing but her strength, more beautiful than ever before.
My name is Julie Yarbrough, and the title of my piece is Miss Autumn. And I chose that particular photograph because it really depicts what I see when I think of beauty and sensuality and the allure of women.
Hi, I'm Rena. I chose to use 2 photos that inspired me to create my 4 photos called Flowing.
Both of the original photos spoke to me in a way that had a sense of shyness about them. The same young woman is seen walking slowly on the beach alone, but she's happy. She's naked but a little reserved, and she's playing in the water. And even though it seemed so serene and kind of in the moment, it also seemed intimate. We know that sexuality has many, many faces, and to me, it shows sexuality in a light that says it doesn't have to be this extraordinary thing to be powerful, but that it can also be something simple, shy, safe, relaxing, and calm.
Hello, my name is Maiya Ellick. My piece is named Selfish, pronoun she, her, and also her, are of women breaking down the barriers of what it means to be sexy. I captured my models naturally as they were comfortable and unapologetically just loving themselves. Originally, I wanted to do a piece of myself in that space. However, no, I'm not quite there yet, but I really enjoyed capturing them as they made it to that space of loving themselves, no matter who or what may have brought them down or the world just going at you, you know? So I captured them as they were unearthing for she who is.
My name is Darlene Deloris. I also go by Lena Love. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, currently residing in Brooklyn, New York. And this piece for me is a very personal one. Rebirth, Harlow's Gift, is the first painting for me since giving birth to my daughter, whose middle name is Harlow. The reference image was chosen because the muse is directing her hands and the audience's attention to her belly, her womb. And for me, the womb has been a center of focus in divine femininity, from me having been pregnant to giving birth, and now in my postpartum transitions. The muse is cloaked in black violet, symbolizing the blackest of the black and decency, and her background is haunted by gold adinkra symbols. This, for me, symbolizes lessons learned and guidance from the ancestors. This piece is me. It's the new me, reborn.
Hello, my name is Oluwafunmilola Foster. My debut art submission is titled Who Is This? Originally titled The Caller, I felt compelled to rename it as the focus was clearly the beautiful dark woman in the picture. Drawing on the inspiration from another photo where a coyly posed woman is gazing out of a window, I wanted to recreate that sexual easiness but in an elevated elegance. The muse is nude under a custom net vest. Her eyes captivate and follow you, and her naturally curly hair serves as her perfectly coiffed crown. This is sensuality to me. Easy beauty and an internal glow that shows in her skin and eyes, softness in a woman, in a dark woman. In my opinion, all of these things are the epitome of the reclamation of a black woman's beauty.
My name is Melissa Alexander, and the name of my piece is A Woman in Bloom, number 4. The number 4 comes, it's kind of random, but over the past year, I've done a series of self-portraits called Woman in Bloom. And Woman in Bloom is kind of a love letter to myself to say, I see you, Melissa. I see how you're changing. I see the things that you're going through, but nothing is in vain, right? These growing pains, these questions that you ask yourself, these things that you're feeling, none of it is in vain, right? So Woman in Bloom number 4 is another step in that evolutionary process. It's me understanding that clothed or not, right? I'm worthy because I see it in myself. I smile because I see it in myself. And it feels good, right? It's me understanding who I am and what I offer. It's me embracing the duality of myself. It's me understanding that I contain multitudes. And this is but one aspect of the sum total of who I am. I'm a whole garden, and I'm a whole woman in bloom.
Welcome. I'm Carina Ayiesha, and this is Renew. Flesh will shift, continents drift, tides come, hearts rift. Thirsty, we search through parched brick lands for cactus juice and aloe plants. Leather grind faces, cracked from tears and time. More our journey as we travel through the lines that meander on ancestral faces and guide us to our destiny places. They smile as we receive our spaces. Pregnant with new life, we are reborn through the polarity of strife. And in this refining abyss, I join to the truth that I may rise above the mist that sought to intoxicate and distract me to forget that as spirit being, I am well equipped.
In answering the question of my own personal reclamation, man, this thing had me digging back into my past to where I am today. And what I know is that I've always had issues with people in my personal space, and that made it more than okay with me having a life, spending a life sleeping alone. You know, kicking it is one thing, but the depths of sharing a bed with someone, that's an intimacy that had a long, specific checklist of requirements for me to feel comfortable enough to do it. You know, it was reconnected with my first love 4 years ago at the ripe and sexy age of 47 that granted me this divine gift of feeling it the way I asked the Creator for it. So this piece here, it represents how I opened up to a shared space because I felt it was cushioned with mutual love, trust, and respect. Yeah.
From the moment I walked in, the vibration was very high. It was very warm. It was very comforting. It was very feminine energy that was in the place that night. I felt really proud to be a part of this creation, this collection of women creators who were reinterpreting or expressing their definitions and ideas of feminine sexuality, what it means to own your body as a woman, what does it mean to express that sexuality, that softness, that perspective of what things can be when we own the idea of sexual joy. I really enjoyed being a part of a collection of art that was very varied in mediums, very varied in ideas, in expression, in statements. I found it really great. Being in a textile space, I really wanted to create an image that really conveyed the softness that I feel within my body as a woman, and it was really nice to see all the other different versions of that. It was a very beautiful event. It was a very glorious event. I love it. I was happy to be there. I'm happy to have been a part.
Hello, my name is Donna Schiele. My artwork is called I Know, and I chose option number 1. I picked this particular picture because I loved her eyes in this picture. I loved her body too, but I definitely loved her eyes because she's looking as if she is saying, I know. To any statement you may have to her, her response would be, I know. And it's a quiet confidence. So if you say, hey, your hair is pretty, I know. Oh, I love your body. It's beautiful. I know. Your skin, it's so smooth. I know. And it spoke to me in terms of that's how we need to be about ourselves. It's okay to be confident in who you are and your beauty. And if someone compliments you, you should already know and say thank you.
My name is Charity Hamidullah, and this piece is entitled Listening to God. I made this piece symbolic of a time in my life where I just didn't feel connected to my womanhood, and I felt like I truly didn't know who I was because I wasn't spending the time to even get to know her. As I just became to be still, quiet, and really connecting with nature, I began to truly listen to myself and in a way listen to God. And I saw myself in that spirit. I began to recognize my resilience and acknowledge the greatness of me as a woman. And that's really what my piece just embodied. Thank you for listening.
My name is Linda Costa, and I'm honored to have captured these portraits of Kimberly Stewart Lucas, Jamila Ma'at Nation, and Melissa M. Thomas. We created a series of images on a fateful night in 2008, 10 years before the first Reclamation art show debuted in 2018. The two that I included in this year's For She Who Is exhibition are called The Reclamation Icons, which Ron Tillman drew inspiration from in order to create the logo for the series, and Ecstasy, a bold and brazen portrait of Melissa M. Thomas. These fiery, sensual, empowered, and powerful images were born in total darkness using a long exposure technique called light painting photography, which created these special effects that you see in real time without digital editing. The amount of trust, openness, and freedom expressed by the women in these works is equal to the amount of courage it took to be vulnerable to my lens, my creative process, and ultimately our audience, which bears witness to the co-creations we made that night. As the night progressed and I built a deeper trust with my mighty muses, they bloomed slowly into their almost natural expression of self, leading to phenomenal portraits none of us imagined were possible. This series has shaped my past both personally and professionally, sending me on a journey of liberating, accepting, and reclaiming myself more as I continue the work of the reclamation. This project has taught me the power of sisterhood, conscious co-creation, vulnerability, courage, and trust. I am so grateful to be a part of this incredibly powerful work.